Oh, how lovely. Do you know what, Rach? After seeing that, I've forgotten how beautiful the Lake District is. I think I'm going to book myself a short break after the show this morning.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning, yeah.
And if you agree with us, well, don't forget that we want to hear from you at home. Each week, we'll be giving you a chance to pick where Cameron should visit next. So let us know your votes by dropping us a tweet or leaving a comment on our Facebook page.
But who says that you have to go big on a holiday, though? There are so many cheap and even free things that you can do with your family across the Northwest this summer. And right now, we're joined by our very own travel expert, Neil Robinson, who is here to share his inside knowledge regarding ways to have an enjoyable summer in the region at a low cost. So good morning to you, Neil. Now, often when we think of tourism in the UK, we think of very expensive activities, don't we? Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Blackpool Tower. But in your opinion, where are the best places to go in this country on a budget?
Well, obviously I'm from the Northwest, so I'm very much pro the Northwest. I'd start by saying Manchester is a great place to visit. You've got Manchester University, which has a wonderful museum. It's free to enter and there's a lot of educational value there for families, so that's well worth a visit. If you consider going a bit further abroad, if you go to Liverpool, for example, you've got the Maritime Exhibition, which is also free. I think they're doing the Lusitania and Titanic at the moment. And you've also got the Tate Gallery there if you fancy a bit of art. So they're well worth a visit. In terms of Chester, if you want a bit of classical Roman history, you've got access to the walls, which are free to walk. And your colleague earlier did a very good piece on the Lake District, which once again, there are fees attached, but you can go there with your packed lunch and just enjoy the day.
And for you, what is your favourite place to visit?
Of recent years, it would have to be Buxton. Buxton's nice, very accessible, very flat. There's the Devonshire Dome, which you can visit, very historic, and you can also have a spa whilst you're there. So you can make it cheap or you can make it expensive.
Now, one of the things that we've noticed here on Breakfast on Edge when doing a bit of research on this is the cost of like budget accommodation, Airbnb being one of those. And we've had a few people tweeting being a little bit concerned about, you know, booking online through these new websites. So what should somebody look out for to ensure that they are safe?
Yeah, I think it's a valid point you make. I would say you've got 3 or 4 key issues. Firstly, if you're online and the organisation says they exist, check. If there's a phone number, if in doubt, ring them up. So that's the first point. Secondly, if the deal looks very good, sometimes it can be too good to be true, so be careful. And finally, from a financial perspective, use industry platforms like PayPal or your credit card, because if there's any comeback, you can at least go to your credit provider and they'll probably sort it out for you. So, you know, think about the cost, think about the organisation, and if the deal looks too good, just be wary of it.
We've had a tweet going from that from Jodie in Bolton. She says, I like the idea of staying local and going on holiday in the Northwest, but some of the hotel prices are expensive as travelling abroad. So if she was to go on a discounted hotel, when should she book?
I'd probably say leave it as long as possible, because obviously they'll be able to ascertain whether they can discount on the bedrooms or not. So if you're going, I'd probably leave it maybe 3 or 4 days before you physically decide to go to the location, but do book. It's better to pay a little extra and be guaranteed of accommodation before you actually arrive.
Brilliant. All right, well, thank you very much for that, Neil. I think, are we going now to book my budget break to the Lake District this summer after hearing that advice?
That's a good idea.
Okay, well, we appreciate you stopping by, Neil, and I'm sure you'll be back soon with some more expert advice.
Now, I've actually had a few suggestions on where Cameron should visit next week. Now, quite a few people are calling for Chester, and apparently in 2013, a USA Today poll found that Chester is the 5th most romantic destination to visit in Europe, according to the Americans, ahead of both Venice and Paris. That is quite surprising, isn't it, Rach?
Yeah, it's quite surprising. However, I did visit Chester last week and it was very beautiful, very quaint. And like Neil said, with the walls, a really good place to go.
Well, you see, I went to Venice last year, actually, but I went with my parents, so I think I need to book there again to experience a more romantic side. Yeah, so I'm on my wish list of things to do after now. So we're nearly at the end of the show, but we always save the best until last here on Breakfast on Edge.
Yes, so we've spoken a lot about where you could potentially go on holiday, but how about we make it just that little bit easier for you? With this week's competition, Jake Hurst has all the details.
Sun's out, the days are getting longer. That means only one